Studies show almost 70% of people who start running quit within the first month. Not because running is hard, because everyone starts it exactly wrong. Most beginners make the same mistake. They go too hard, too fast, too soon, with no plan behind any of it, just raw motivation. And motivation runs out fast. The body fights back, the brain files it under, suffering, and by day 4, there's nothing left to fall back on. Running is one of the simplest sports on the planet, but simple doesn't mean there's nothing to learn. There's a right way to start, and almost nobody does it. This video is that guide. By the end of it, you'll know exactly what to wear, how to warm up, how fast to go, what to eat, and how to build a plan that you'll actually stick to. Before we get into it, are you starting from zero? Or have you run before and fallen off? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Let's go. You don't need to spend a fortune to start running, but 2 things are worth getting right from day 1. Clothing. Keep it simple. Wear whatever feels comfortable and lets you move freely. The only thing worth avoiding is anything too heavy or too tight. You want nothing slowing you down before you even start. Shoes. This is where you don't cut corners. Running shoes are not regular sneakers. They're engineered to absorb impact, support your foot strike, and protect your joints over thousands of steps. Running in the wrong shoes is one of the fastest ways to get injured. Shin splints, knee pain, plantar fasciitis. Go to a proper running store and buy shoes that fit how you actually move. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be right. Everything else, GPS watches, compression socks, foam rollers, comes later. For now, clothes that don't chafe and shoes that fit. That's your starting kit. Nobody wants to hear this. Everyone skips it anyway, and then they wonder why their knees hurt after 3 weeks. Here's the rule: dynamic stretching before you run, static stretching after. Before you run, dynamic warm-up. Your muscles are cold. Static stretching a cold muscle is like trying to stretch a rubber band straight out of the freezer, and it doesn't work, and you risk snapping it. Instead, move. Leg swings front to back, leg swings side to side, hip circles, high knees in place, butt kicks. 2 to 3 minutes. You're waking the muscles up, increasing blood flow, and telling your body what's coming. After your run, static stretching. Now your muscles are warm and pliable. This is when you hold stretches. Quad stretch, hamstring stretch, calf stretch, hip flexor stretch. Hold each for 20 to 30 seconds. This is where you build flexibility, 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after. That's the investment. It's the difference between running consistently and spending 2 weeks on the couch nursing a strain. Here it is, the thing that kills more beginner running plans than anything else. You go out too fast. It feels fine for the first minute. You're motivated, the music is good, the legs feel fresh. Then minute 2 hits, then 3, and suddenly you're dying. You walk, you feel defeated. You wonder why running is so hard. It's hard because you're running at the wrong pace. The right pace for a beginner feels almost embarrassingly slow. We're talking slow enough to hold a full conversation. Slow enough that someone walking fast might keep up with you. That's not a failure, that's aerobic training. That's how your cardiovascular system actually builds. A simple rule: if you can't speak a short sentence without gasping, you're going too fast. Slow down. No ego. The goal in the first weeks isn't speed. It's time on your feet. Build the engine first. Speed comes later. You don't need a nutrition degree to fuel your runs, but a few basics make a real difference. Water. Drink enough throughout the day, not just right before you run. If your urine is dark yellow, you're already behind. Aim for pale yellow. On runs longer than 45 minutes, consider taking water with you. Electrolytes. When you sweat, you lose sodium, potassium, and magnesium, not just water. For shorter runs, water is fine. For anything over an hour, an electrolyte drink or tablet replaces what you're losing and helps you stay properly hydrated before your run. Eat something light with carbohydrates 1 to 2 hours before. A banana, toast, oats. Carbs are your fuel. Don't run on a completely empty stomach if you can help it. And definitely don't eat a heavy meal right before. And if you're someone who likes spicy food, save it for after the run. Your stomach will thank you. after your run. Protein to repair the muscle damage, carbs to refill your energy stores. A meal with both within the next couple of hours of finishing is ideal. It doesn't have to be complicated. Eggs and rice, chicken and bread, a protein shake with a piece of fruit. Meanwhile, if you'd like to see a more detailed video on this topic, let me know in the comments. This is the part most guides skip. They tell you to run 3 times a week and leave you to figure out the rest. Here's a real framework. The run-walk method. If you're starting from 0, don't try to run the whole thing. Alternate between running and walking. Start with 1 minute of running, 2 minutes of walking, repeated for 20 minutes. Every week, increase the running intervals and decrease the walking. By week 4 or 5, most people are running continuously for 20 to 30 minutes without stopping. This isn't a shortcut. It's the correct way to build aerobic base without destroying your joints in the process. Frequency, 3 runs per week is the sweet spot for beginners. More than that, and your body doesn't have time to recover and adapt. Less than that, and progress stalls. Rest days are not lazy days. They're the days your body actually gets stronger. How to measure progress. Forget pace for the first month. Track time and distance. Are you running a little longer each week without it feeling harder? That's progress. A GPS watch or any free running app does this automatically. The 5K milestone. If you follow a run-walk plan 3 times per week, most complete beginners reach a continuous 5K within 8 to 10 weeks. Not fast, just continuous. That's the first real milestone, and it changes how you see yourself as a runner. One more thing before you go. Running doesn't have to be a solo sufferfest. Most cities have running clubs, groups that meet weekly, run together at mixed paces, and genuinely make the sport more enjoyable. If you've been struggling with motivation, running with other people fixes that faster than any app or playlist. Find your local club, show up once, see what happens. And the most important rule of all, listen to your body. Some discomfort when you start is normal. Your body is adapting to something new. But sharp pain, joint pain, or anything that gets worse as you run is your body telling you to stop. Don't push through real pain. Take the day. Take the week if you need to. Running will still be there. This sport is not about punishment. It's not about proving something. It's about building a version of yourself that can go further, last longer, and feel better in one run at a time. You know what to wear, how to warm up, and what pace to run. But there's one more thing that dictates if you'll still be running in 6 months, and that's your running form. Here is the exact video you need to watch right now on your screen.